The six-time Grammy-winning artist has been making music professionally for more than 30 years. His new book, Hip Hop is History, traces the creative and cultural forces that helped turn hip hop into what it is today. Questlove joins us first on CBS Mornings. What's up, man?
Hello, how are you? How you doing?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
Let's date this back. You know, hip hop first emerged in the 70s, and I don't think anyone could foresee what it would become, the impact that it would have. Not only did it survive, but it has helped shape culture. And I'm not talking about black culture. Why do you think it has been so significant over the years?
Well, I mean, significant simply because, I mean, hip hop's sort of early years is the result of really a generation wanting to be heard. You know, before hip hop, people my age were basically supposed to be seen and not heard. Don't speak unless you're spoken to.
Right.
You don't have valid opinions or feelings. And structurally speaking, like, African Americans never were allowed to express feelings in public.
Right.
And so this gives you a voice.
Yeah.
For the first time, it matters what a teenager thinks or what a young person thinks. So to sort of grow up parallel with it, I kind of have a different relationship with hip hop. People my age have a different relationship because, you know, I'm 2 years older than when the first hip hop moment occurred, you know, in 1973. So I see it more or less as a good friend of mine and eventually a girlfriend and maybe a fiance. And
of course.
We went to counseling, couples counseling. Are we breaking up? Or are we, you know?
It's love affair.
Throughout the book, you name a number of artists. You talk about the origins of where the music is coming from, but you also argue that hip hop was sort of journalism in the urban America community.
Yeah.
What do you think hip hop is now when you think about what it represents today?
That's a good question.
Well, I mean, it's still, so Chuck D once said back in the late 80s that, you know, hip hop is kind of rap CNN. I might counter argue that hip hop might be, you know, that other network.
Right. I see what you're saying.
That other network. You know, it's still as vital and as important as it is today. However, you know, again, you have to sift through it. A lot of times the opinions of hip hop are based on people that are sort of on the outside looking in. And you really have to be immersed in the culture to understand.
Yeah.
Oftentimes people will use hip hop as a means to get to know people. And you have to get to know people first, then get to know what our culture is and our art form is. So,
and what do you want people to take away from this book? What is your specific goal?
Well, the one thing I wanted to avoid in this book was writing like hip hop for dummies or a reference book. In the very beginning, I tell you that this is subjective opinions, my opinions. And I was slow to write this book only because, like, once I got a record deal in '94, it's kind of hard to be objectionable when I'm actually part of the
machine.
Yeah, it's one thing when you talk about an album and you're outside of it and you're a fan, but once you're like inside the machine, are you really objectionable or not? So this isn't all the way a memoir, but it's just, I think it's a unique look at the culture from someone that's actually got to walk through the hallways and sort of notate what's happening. Because as a storyteller now, especially like with doing documentaries,
of course.
A lot of my subjects are like over the age of 70.
Yeah.
And their memory's kind of spotty only because I think at the time they don't realize that what they're doing is historical.
Of course.
And I'm just a meticulous, I always journal, always, you know.
And we appreciate you as one of the influential figures in this genre and also one of the voices that we trust.
Well, thank you.
Authentic. So get this book. As Gayle says, Run, Don't Walk. Hip Hop is History goes on sale tomorrow. It is a must.